Ay, 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 ay. It is Tuesday again, and I'm Keya McClain, the poet, and that is.
No, wrong
That
way. I'm over
is.
here. You over there. I'm over here.
I'm all thrown off.
Shimeka, the DAR Therapist.
Hey, the DAR Therapist is in the
Therapist.
building with us tonight. What's up,
Yeah.
everybody? It's Keya and Shimeka, and we are back again. We are excited to be here with you all. Let me just say this. I am elated that you all come back every other Tuesday,
Yes.
every other Wednesday to see Marcus and JR Lily. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your involvement and your excitement for the conversations. We appreciate you
Yes.
guys sending topics and your feedback. We just wanted to start this off by appreciating you all because we know
Yes.
that you taking an hour away from your time to come and be with us is precious. It's your time.
Yes. Yes.
So, hey there, Z Star Rock
Rock
Productions in
Productions.
the building.
Hello.
What's
Hello.
up? Good evening. And so, again, we just wanted to thank you all for always making time to watch us either live or going back and watching the replay. Many of you all send me messages letting me know how much you all enjoyed the lives, how it was helpful for to all, and we really appreciate that because
Yes.
that is what continues to motivate us to come back every other week to
Mhm.
share. And we want to, before we get started, let you guys know what we share here are our opinions. There are experiences. They are things that we've encountered or people close to us may have encountered. Shimeka uses her wisdom as a licensed therapist to share with us. And so we forever want to just say thank you to Shimeka and our other co-host, JR Lily, because they also are very instrumental to date Affirm the Real continuing to grow and
Yes.
connect with others. So just wanted to take that time to do that because that's important to just acknowledge people. Lastly, before I turn the hourglass, the last thing that I want to talk about is, we're going to be talking about, is your broken heart affecting a true love? And so I want to acknowledge the fact that time is nothing to play with, y'all. Be good to yourself. Be good to the people that you know and you're connected to.
Yes.
I won't go deep into it because that's Shamika's story. But a few weeks ago, one of her really good friends was on the live with us just 2 Tuesdays ago.
2 weeks ago.
Just 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
He was on this live with us.
He made a
And
comment and we was like, all right. We was
he
like,
made
okay,
and
Cleo.
he's been on the live with us quite a few times.
Yeah.
And he was always, even outside of the lives, him and Shimeka had conversations. I had a conversation on three-way with them one time, and he was exuberant, he was intelligent, he was vibrant, and I'm using the word was because he's no longer with us. So
Yeah.
send my cousin all the love and hugs because that was a very dear friend to her.
Yes.
And I just want everybody in DAR to wrap your arms around her and send her some love during this time.
Yeah. And his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to get silent after that one.
Yeah.
That was a hard one. And
Yeah.
I never met him. I only spoke with him on the phone one time, but
Did
it's
we and we Zoom?
amazing.
Did we Zoom? We FaceTime
We
each
were on
other?
FaceTime.
Yeah.
And what was really interesting is sometimes you can just talk to people and connect with people and you
Hmm.
just feel their spirit and you
Yeah.
feel the authenticity. And I felt that with him.
Yeah.
I felt that he was a genuine, great guy, just as she had always described him to me. And so it was nice to see him and hear his voice at one
Hmm.
time. But we're going to send you light and love and healing energy, cousin, as you maneuver through this season without your dear friend and family.
Yeah.
So, thank you all in the comments for sending love. I see your comments. Thank you for sending that love to her.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to turn the hourglass, y'all. Y'all know what happens when I turn the hourglass. What happens when I turn the hourglass, cousin?
Time to start.
Hey, it's time to go.
Let's get this party started.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started. So, the topic is your broken heart affecting a true love in your life? Is it? First, let's define a broken heart, right? So, of course, when I think about these topics, a lot of times either people have recommended them or I just come up with these topics on the fly. And I generally come up with them through some conversation or observation.
Right.
And so this particular topic came up through conversation. And one of the things that came up in my mind was actually a conversation we had, cousin, which happens a lot for us.
Right.
Sometimes we don't even know what a broken heart is to be able to repair that. Sometimes, how can you repair something that you're not, right? You don't even know what it is, so you can't repair something. So I wanted to give you all an example, not necessarily an example, but a comparison of what a broken heart can feel like. Because sometimes we don't even identify with what it is we're feeling, what emotions and all of that we're feeling.
Right.
So I just told you guys what my cousin is experiencing right now, which is grief. A broken heart can feel very similar to grief.
It is.
It can feel very, yeah.
Because you're mourning a loss.
That's what it is.
You're
right?
mourning a loss. Yeah.
So you're going to go through a lot of those same emotions. You're going to have a lot of those same feelings because although they may physically still be here, they're no longer a part of your life.
Right. And then it's harder to see them and know you can never touch them again.
Yes.
Right? Because they're not gone. They just you just can't have that same interaction with them anymore.
The dynamics of that relationship has completely changed, right?
Yep.
And so as a result, excuse me, you guys will see me looking down. I'm getting messages. People are trying to get the link to the live. And so I'm going to pause for the calls so I can send the links. But I'll let you continue that conversation, cousin, while I
because it's like it's still a loss. So even like, the 5 stages of grief, like, no, it can't be, you have the denial, like the different stages. Shoot, a breakup is the same thing. It's the same thing. You're mourning a loss. You're mourning the loss of a relationship. And so that's difficult. Again, especially if you like are used to having them hold hands with you, if you're used to that intimate connection with them and you can no longer have it and you see them walking and you like, oh. And so for people so even like you said, identifying a broken heart, because some people mask it, right? They mask that I'm fine, nothing wrong with me, it's over and we done, right?
Yeah.
But then in your quiet place, in your quiet time, you're like, I miss this about them.
Yeah.
Or you keep yourself distracted so you don't think about them.
That's in the notes. We're gonna get there for sure.
I'm like, I should have got my iPad over here with me.
We're gonna get there for sure.
You sent me the notes. I should have stayed focused.
No, that's all right. Because we getting them ready for what's to come. We're getting them ready. Stay with us. So, at one point, I didn't know what a broken heart was. I knew I was experiencing certain emotions, but I didn't know that what I was experiencing was a broken heart. And a lot of times, like I said earlier, when you can't identify that that's what it is, it ends up being confusion. You end up being conflicted, and then you end up making really bad decisions sometimes as a result of that.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
hey,
Shimeka.
Yule, we see you. So it's difficult sometimes when you can't even identify what's happening. And that's an internal struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes we have to start with understanding what emotions we're feeling. So, as I always talk about, what am I going to say? Journaling. So if you don't journal what these feelings and these emotions are doing and what you're feeling, you can't identify what's happening with you. Dr. Rowe is in the building.
Dr.
Good
Rose.
evening, Dr. Rowe. Thanks for joining us. So if you can't identify what emotions are you're feeling because you're not jotting them down, and I will always and forever say this, emotions, thoughts, all of these things go through our minds all day long, all day long.
Mm-hmm.
How are you capturing what is happening, what you're feeling? How do you capture, how do I grow? What am I lacking?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need right now in this season? What is happening with me? How do you capture those things if you're
Right.
not journaling? And
Right.
so some of us have experienced a broken heart,
Mm-hmm.
and again, we didn't even know it was a broken heart
Right.
because we're
And
just moving and moving and moving.
right, distracted, keeping ourselves distracted. I just thought about something, and I don't know if this would be the right place to put it. But have you ever heard of the anger iceberg?
No.
So the
Tell
anger
us about
iceberg.
that, therapist.
So the anger iceberg, because anger is considered a secondary emotion, right? So typically, so like the Titanic, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is the Titanic. All they saw was the tip of the iceberg, and the boat was floating towards it, right? So they saw, but it got hit first before they even touched this part.
That looked like
So
a duck.
it's a boat. It's a boat. It's a little flag, right there. It's the flag.
Okay.
So this is what we see. We see the anger. So you might feel angry because now you guys are broken up, right? And so you might think that's the anger you're really feeling, but really, anger is just a secondary emotion because you might be feeling betrayed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You might be feeling betrayed. You're feeling hurt. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's easier to feel this anger than it is to feel the sadness. I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling so sad, but I don't want them to know I'm sad because I ain't weak. I ain't weak. So roar.
Mm-hmm. Talk
So
about it.
it could be other. So you might the anger. So the anger you might be like I'm just angry, but really what it is you don't want to feel the other stuff, and so you're using the anger as a distraction to cover up the other stuff that you're feeling.
That's good,
It's
cousin.
the
Ooh,
anger
that's good.
iceberg.
That's
I don't even see
good.
it
I
backwards,
hope
and my
y'all
writing
taking
is horrible.
notes. Y'all taking notes. That was good. That that's why I told Marcus hand me my pen and paper because you always dropping some nuggets. And
I just thought
so
about that, like, because you get angry, like I'm angry,
I
and
gotta write that
you
in my
want to tear up
notes.
their stuff, and you want to break their car, and you want to break, like what was the song? What's the song where she tore up the baby car, or even like
Bust the
or,
windows out your car.
or
Yeah.
Waiting to Exhale where she burned his clothes and thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really that you're feeling betrayed, sad. It's other feelings
Yeah.
that you don't want to feel because we've been told that those feelings are is a
Yeah.
weakness.
Yeah.
You're feeling a loss. Shoot, a loss. I'm feeling a loss. Like,
You're feeling a lot like grief.
yes,
It's very, very similar to grief. You're gonna
yes.
experience a lot of those same emotions. And for those that are viewing on YouTube and Instagram, feel free to put in the comments like if you've had a breakup, what emotions have you felt? This is a safe space. Remember that. This is a safe space. We are not here to judge you. We are not here to criticize or ridicule you. So share some of those emotions. And I'm sure that many of us have shared a lot of those similar emotions because a heartbreak is very, very similar to grief. And it stages to that heartbreak the same way it stages to
The
grief.
grief.
And so once we identify, okay, I'm dealing with a broken heart right now, right? I need to deal with my broken heart. And then from there, we're going to go to how does this impact me?
Hmm.
How does that impact me? And how did it impact, and how will it impact those
Mm.
around me?
We
Right?
got I felt embarrassed, confused. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Embarrassed and confused. Oh my goodness. Yes. Those are emotions that
Man.
I know I felt before.
Mm-hmm.
Um
And you
you
playing over
feel
and over in your head how you could have did it better. How maybe
mhm.
it's me. Maybe I'm the issue. It's me. It's me. That's why they left me, because it was me. I'm the,
And
Mm.
so I'm gonna really talk
Dr.
about,
Rose said pissed.
yeah,
Anger. That's your
pissed,
anger.
yeah, angry,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm going to go back to what I said, but I'm going to give you something, a tool, as I say this. I'm going to go back to journaling, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have every right to write out how pissed you are in your journal. You can write a letter about how pissed you are. You can write a letter about how sad you are. You can write a letter about how you feel betrayed. You can write a letter about all of those things. Release that energy from you, because
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen is you're going to carry that with you,
Right.
right? And as time goes, you're going to find yourself 6 months later
Mm.
still angry,
Yeah.
still hating them, still feeling betrayed. Okay, now we're a year later.
Mm.
How is it affecting the relationships that are close to
That'll
you
come
in
right.
that time span,
Right.
right? And what are you attracting as a
In that
result of those
space.
emotions,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Rising Phoenix said, I tend to go from the denial to the anger stage and kind of get stuck there for too long. Mm-hmm.
That's honest. And we appreciate you being honest about that,
Yeah.
because that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll find yourself getting stuck there. And before you, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you something, I'm going to tell you my business. So, when I got brokenhearted, and this was probably one of my biggest heartbreaks, when I was heartbroken, one of the things that I did was I ended up in a relationship. What do they call the relationship you get in
Uh
after
um uh
that?
um uh um uh um. I don't know.
You
Uh
call it
uh.
you call it the you want me
Rebound.
to tell you? Okay.
Ross said rebound.
I was gonna
Marcus.
see if my
Marcus
cousin was
saved
gonna
it.
say it.
Marcus. I don't be. I be like,
you
what?
you call it the rebound, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's how detrimental that was for me.
Mm.
My rebound relationship led me to a marriage
Ooh.
that I had no business being in
Mm.
because I was heartbroken. That's one of the ramifications of being heartbroken and not knowing that you're heartbroken and not knowing what to do with those emotions and
Mm-hmm.
not knowing how to handle that and not journaling and not dealing with your feelings. That's a result for me. That was my result, right? Everybody else is going to have different stories. But my story is, it led me to a rebound relationship that led me to marrying that person who was
Mm-hmm.
actually a great person.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great person. He just wasn't my person, right? So then I ended up doing to him what was done to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the
Pattern.
not only the pattern, but how you end up putting out what's happened to you. And
Mm.
that's why so many people are walking around wounded and
Mm.
hurt, because we're passing down our hurt to the next person and the
Mm.
next person and the next person. And it's why I talk about healing so much, because through my hurt and through my pain, through my shame and my embarrassment, I hurt other people.
Mm-hmm.
I got hurt and I hurt other people. And it became a cycle, right? And then I began to resent people and hold that to all men are doing this, right? When that wasn't the case. It wasn't the case at all. But I chose to believe that that was the narrative for me,
Right.
because I didn't do anything different. I was doing the same shit,
Right.
expecting a different result.
Right.
And that's called insanity.
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, unlike Keya, I was a hoe. So it took me a while to fall in love because I didn't want to give nobody my heart. I was a hoe. I was just like, okay, you're next, right? Because I was like, I was trying to avoid that heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to avoid it when I was really hurting myself over and over again, right? And so when I finally did fall in love, which was, we talked about this before, is that, it was hard to let go, even though I knew it was unhealthy. But in that I learned, and I healed and I learned more about me. But that heartbroken, it took me a while to get over that. I kept calling Keya. I don't wanna, right? But I knew it was unhealthy. But
look here, what we're going to do on this, for those who may not be watching all the time, what we going to always do is keep it 100, right? It's date, affirm the real. So if we ever say anything that may offend you or hurt you in any kind of way,
get over it.
Please get over it, because we're going to keep it 100 around here, okay? That's the whole purpose. We're trying to help people to heal
right,
and resolve those internal conflicts. Because although you said, you expect, that's what you went to, was being a hoe. Like, I had my whole phase and moment too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, again, when you don't deal with your issues,
right?
You
and
start
I had
to
childhood trauma.
Yep.
And so this was my response to the childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Right?
You start to have all of these different things that come out. You want to read Rising Phoenix's comment?
Yeah, I like that name, Rising Phoenix. I love that. I've experienced that too. It's like the rebound is our Band-Aid while we're unintentionally inflicting injury to another.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Here's the other side to that, though. The other side to that is, I didn't see anybody say in the comments, maybe they're holding it. They didn't say that they blamed the other person and they became the victim. This is another thing I did, right? I blamed, they broke my heart and they did this. And, then you become the victim, right? Whoa, it's me. Oh, my heart is broken. But very rarely do we take accountability for our own actions, our contributions to that, or even bad picking. Right?
And and here's the thing too. And when we're talking about like just the choices we make, what we're putting out there, if we haven't done our work, we're done the work to heal the childhood traumas and what healthy relationships look like, we get involved in unhealthy situations that mirror the unhealthy relationships that we've learned to as children. And so we get into these, and so if we haven't healed, we draw the traumatic. It's like we live in the it's like Rising Phoenix says, I'm definitely guilty of the woe is me. But and so we're
thank you for backing me up on that.
Right? Where we're just replaying what we know, what's safe, what's comfortable to us, and that's all not always healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that by even having the conversation about, what is a broken heart? Have you experienced a broken heart? What's been the result of your broken heart? One of the other reasons, and I said earlier, what made me talk about this, the topics come from conversation and observation, right? Or either someone sending us topics. And so I did this TikTok recently, and I kind of just did this one part, and I was talking about how at one point I was engaged to someone that was already married, right? And this is the big heartbreak that I was talking about that led me to a marriage, right? So this is the result of what can happen. And I'm sharing this because I really want to help somebody. Seriously, I know I know the impact that this can have on people.
Right.
If you have a heartbreak and you don't deal with it and you don't heal from it, it's going to cause a domino effect of a lot of things to happen. And if I can prevent just one person from having the adverse effects that I had, that's what I'm here for. So I won't go into all the details of the story, but this man proposed to me. He was already married to someone. I was supposed to actually relocate to a different city and state with this person. And I found out literally a week and a couple of days before I was supposed to leave and go to this place. And I was so angry. I was so hurt. I was confused. Like, what the hell was you going to do? What did you have planned for me? Right?
No sense. Make no
And
sense.
I was so angry. Now, this is something that happened over 20 years ago. I was so angry, and I did not have the emotional intelligence that I have now. And all of the thoughts that came in my head were past Jasmine Sullivan, knock the windows out your car. I was way past there. Yeah. Oh, baby, I was in the, I'ma kill you. I was like out, like it was bad.
Take you out. I'm gonna take you out.
Right? It was bad. Because all I kept thinking about, the very first thing in my head was, what were you going to do when I came to this other city and state? What was going to happen to me?
How was you going to do?
Right. So I started therapy very shortly after this whole episode, but I was kind of in and out of therapy. Like I would go, then I get triggered by something that was said, and I'd be like, I ain't going back there. Right. But one of the early things that the therapist said to me was, have you ever looked at it the other way? I was like, there ain't no other way to look at it. This man lied to me and was married to somebody else and proposed to me, and I was moving to this city and state. And he says, well, you could have moved there. Right? You were protected. You were protected for some reason from that situation. When you're in that space though, you ain't got time for that. I ain't got time. I don't want to hear that.
I don't see none of that. I don't see none of that. All I see is my anger.
I don't want to hear that. Right? So I didn't go back to the therapist because I was very, very triggered by that. I was very triggered. Like, I don't want to hear that shit.
None of it.
Because the bottom line is, he is a liar, and I want him to pay for that. Bottom line is, it led me down making a lot of bad decisions because of my pain. It really did. So my point in even just sharing that is to say, some of us are hurting people out here.
Right.
Some of us are out here hurting people. If you don't want that man or that woman, leave them alone. If you don't want to do right because of your pain, leave them alone. And vice versa, right? But we have to be able to identify what we're dealing with people. We don't get to play the victim. You know you're dealing with a wounded animal, right? You have to understand, okay, this person needs rehab. This person needs care. They don't need me. They need rehab. They need care. And I'm not the person that can give that to them. Right. And a lot of times as women, we think we can go in and we can fix and cure and save people. And we walk away. Yeah. And we be the ones walking away, limping and shit.
Man.
So cut that out. Yeah. Okay? Let people be who they are going to be. And if they need to heal, let them go heal. But take care of yourself. Journal your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, all of those things that are going on. Journal that, Contagious toxicity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be contagious.
For me, for me too, like when you said journaling, for me, I was, I would for what helped with me is dealing with that emotional pain was I would write letters. I would write about what I liked about him, right? What I liked about him, all the stuff that I enjoyed about him, all the things I enjoyed about what made me smile, right? Then I wrote down, but the things that weren't healthy. These are so then I was like, okay, these are things I wanted somebody that's going to show up, right?
Yeah.
But then I was like, I had to remember, yes, that was beautiful. But then this is what showed up, right? This is what showed up as well. And these things hurt, and these are things that's why we're here. That's why we're in this situation, So I wrote I had my book and I was writing I have several books with me because I'd be at work or in the car or at home. So I'd be like, let me. Right? Because I had to. Junior said pros and cons.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the benefit of keeping the relation? What's the cost of it? What was the cost? The cost was my pain. The cost was my pain. you know, and again, I'm not willing to do that anymore.
Yeah. We
You
talked
know,
about that a little bit 2 weeks ago, right? We talked about, get your ass off the 99-cent shelf. Okay? Get off the 99-cent shelf. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. Like, if you show up on the 99-cent shelf,
you go get 99-cent behavior.
just saying, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Floyd, good evening, brother.
Hello.
So it's definitely, it's time to start to sit down with yourself and recognize what's going on internally with you. We're so quick to point the finger at other people and they did this and they did that. The way to healing is healing yourself. Stop talking about other people. Stop worrying about other people. Stop doing all of that. That's all distraction. It's all distraction from you doing the work that is necessary for yourself. Other people are going to be other people. I don't lump everybody in one category because I don't know everybody.
Right.
What I will do is I'll do the work that's necessary of myself and that I require of myself so that I connect with a different caliber of people.
Right.
Right?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you fine.
Okay, I can't see you no more.
Oh.
Somebody called and then I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Well, we see you.
Oh, okay.
But you have to be willing to do that necessary work internally for yourself so that you can encounter differently.
Right.
So that you can experience differently.
Right.
Because if you keep complaining about the same things, if you keep encountering the same things, if you keep reliving the same things, there's pain there.
Right.
And that means there's space for healing. Take some time to do the healing so that you're not angry. What did you call it? The angry iceberg.
Oh, don't be the angry iceberg.
Don't be the angry iceberg.
Don't be the angry iceberg. Shy, go. Oh, the video's messed up? Oh, no, I'm back on. I can see now. I figured it out. Thank you, Marcus. Oh, private chat. Just came with. My bad. I was going to type it back to response. I wasn't going to say it on the screen.
So
I was going to say too, because then you got social media now. Ooh, social media can be such you go crazy looking at what they're doing, looking at where they at, creating a whole nother, now I didn't do this. I thought about doing it, but it's a lot of work to create a whole nother account that's like, I'm trying to not be me. That's a lot of work. I wasn't going to do all of that. But I still go back and be like, let me see what he's doing. Or I'd get somebody else's phone. Let me see your phone. Let me see your phone. Let me see what he's doing. Let me see if he missed me like I miss him. He didn't.
You say he didn't.
He did. He was traveling with somebody. So sad, y'all. I was sad.
Look, as your cousin,
and he's smiling.
As your cousin, I love you, but I'm so glad I ain't getting them phone calls no more.
Girl,
I'm glad I ain't getting no phone calls
no more on that, right? Jenny Lily said Twitter fingers.
I was like, "Ooh, Lord!" And she called me one more time about this man.
Same one.
And I'd be like, "He ain't even worth your tears, cousin."
She'd be ready to fight for him. Be like, "We gotta beat his ass because he's making me cry." But I love it. Ugly cry.
Okay, so that's funny because it's true, y'all. We ain't even exaggerating at all. This is like real life Keya and Shimeka.
Man, I had to block him, but you know how many times I had to block him? No, block him several times.
That's why they shouldn't have the unblock. Once you block, they should just be like locked. Are you sure you want to block? Because this is a forever block. right?
Girl,
They need to ask that question
I
so you
had
can
to
be like,
delete them.
yes.
So I didn't went through stages. I was like, okay, I'm blocking him, but I kept the messages, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna block him, take off the number, right? Take his name off the number. Then I find the messages, and then, girl,
A whole process.
y'all know. I had to delete, delete everything. I changed his name. I changed his name to Clown. Don't answer this clown. Cause cause he was looking for me, and so social media, so I block him on the phone and stuff. Then he find me on social media, calling me on social media, like, what are you doing?
Look,
This is
so
funny now, but I was like, hello.
look, just delete shit. That sounds easy, right? That sounds easy enough, right?
It was not easy. It was not easy for who I was in love with, you know?
I think we've all kind of been there once, at least once, right? Yeah. Where you're like, okay, I'm gonna just back in the day, when there wasn't no social media, like it was a lot easier. Doing. Yeah.
I couldn't see unless somebody told me what they was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now
then you have to be like, don't tell me shit. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
What did he say again? Who is he with? Don't tell me no more. What story? Okay.
You gonna start singing Vesta old song. This now if you under 40, you ain't gonna get it, right?
Where's my microphone?
Be singing Vesta old song.
Which
Congratulations. This crazy nothing when it got a face.
I hope she makes you happy because you didn't even say goodbye.
Yeah, that's what we did back in the day. We didn't get to go through social media.
Write the lyrics down.
Right. Write the lyrics down, memorize the whole song, and be singing it, crying.
Congratulations.
He don't love me no more.
He don't love me no more. Congratulations, nigga.
So y'all know we had to take a pause for the calls to be silly in between. We getting ready to get back to it. All right. Okay. All right. We back. Okay. We back.
I'm back. Okay.
All right. So the next thing is just to kind of follow up on the things that we already said. Some of those things are going to cause barriers, right? They're going to cause blocks if we don't do the work to heal and recover from those things. Like Shimeka and I are making light of something that can be emotionally draining and traumatic for us. We can laugh about those things now. It's funny now, but when you're going through those things, it's a very serious, real thing, right? It's there's someone on TikTok that I love and I follow, and she's been going through a heartbreak, and she actually plays the sax. And I love listening to her. So I love the saxophone. I love live music, period. So she plays the saxophone, and literally every morning for the last 2 weeks since her breakup, in the middle of playing the saxophone, she'll just start crying, right? She'll just start crying.
How vulnerable that is and beautiful.
And I'm just like, man, like I just been sending her so much love because I know what that is like, And so for her to still keep showing up every day in her gift, but just being very transparent and, like you said, vulnerable with her followers, that is just a beautiful thing to witness, because I know that's hard. And so today she posted that today was the first day she got up and didn't cry. And she was feeling pretty good, and so I was like, I'm really happy for her because people don't really be knowing what you're going through, and we always trying to save face. Like you said earlier, we be trying to act like, oh, I ain't hurt, I'm good, I'm all right. Oh, and I was notorious for that because I thought I was Tupac back in the day. Like I thought I was just hard G. What? Who want it? What? I'll pop a cap. I ain't scared of nobody. I ain't hurting. Who crying?
Ain't nobody crying over here, girl.
And so,
and be crying in my closet like that girl.
Be crying, right? But when you release that, and one of the things that I do want to kind of insert here is, please have at least one person
Yes.
in your life that you can
Yes.
be vulnerable with, that you feel
Yep.
safe with, because
If you
keeping
don't have a
that and
therapist.
holding that all in,
Yes.
that is a lot to hold in to
Yeah.
yourself. That is a
Yep.
lot. And I'm grateful that I have such an amazing tribe that,
Man.
I can be straight up honest with them and
Right.
say, I ain't doing good right now. This is hard for me. This is difficult. Like, I need hugs. I need my friends to show up for me. I need my people to come through. And so you have to be honest about where you are, about, what's going on, because if not, you only going to hurt yourself more,
Right.
and then possibly hurt other people.
Right.
So next verse is Battle Tupac versus Lenny Williams.
Lenny Williams. Lenny Williams is, I love you.
See, you keep posting stuff, this going to keep us going. I don't know why you do that.
Baby.
We don't know how to act.
Hot and soul. Okay, I'm sorry.
And I promise y'all, it's tea in here. It's tea.
No, I got wine.
But she act like this at all times anyway. So it don't even matter.
Mr. Don Juan, Texas.
Us. This is us.
Don Juan, Texas. Okay, Don Juan.
That's Junior Lily.
Why he changed his name?
Where you playing, Don? Oh, he must be on both sides. He must be on the YouTube and Instagram side. That's what he doing. That's what he doing.
He double.
So,
no.
Okay, guys, this is where we are.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Focus.
This is where we are. So we're gonna get back focused so I can finish up the rest of these notes.
You got that. We only stuck on one. Two.
We on. Yeah, we on 2, but I gotta move. I gotta keep it moving. Okay, so the next thing is, how do you begin after the breakup? So we're at the after breakup point, right? And if you've listened, just to sum it up, if you've listened so far, we've talked about some things to do to identify
where the heartbreak is.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then things that you can do as you move through that, which is, feel the emotions,
support system.
If
you don't have a therapist,
write the letter. And I like what Shimeka said, write the pros, write the cons. Now, when I was in my heartbreak, I wasn't in the space to write shit nice about them. So I didn't do that, okay? So I didn't do that. I wrote they suck and they were ugly and...
I wasn't in the space to write shit good about that much.
No, seriously. That's me being honest, right?
Right.
I wasn't in that space.
That's right.
So I just wrote what I needed to write to get past it and release it.
Yeah.
So, but you write what you feel like you need. Now, don't get toxic with the shit now. Don't just be cussing them out and going on and on and on. And
because is it making you more upset, or is it and that's what you have to identify. Is this working towards healing, right? Towards the healing space, or is this making me more angry?
Yeah.
So because then what I have done though too, I've also burned the letter after I wrote the letter to him. I've also burned the letter, right? Releasing that, right? Mm-hmm. And it's still, and again, it made it feel better. I was still missing him, but so and I do a couple of alternative things and alternative ways of doing things as well. I had the shaman help me do something else too, do another technique that I thought was actually awesome. I just don't want to be on the screen doing this anyway. If you guys want to know, then call me.
Inbox it, y'all. Inbox it if you want to know.
I'm like, whoosh, whoosh. That's what he said, whoosh.
Release it. Move on. Again, those are going to be barriers. Those are going to be barriers. Can this stage lead to the unblock button?
I got them still blocked. I can't. I got them still blocked.
Well, what are we unblocking them for?
Why are we unblocking them? I still got blocked because I know he'll still try to reach out.
Yeah, there's no need to unblock them.
Nah, especially if they're unhealthy. Especially if that, You don't want to unblock them.
Especially because of what my next notes say. And that leads into you want to have healthy relationships going forward, right? And you can't cultivate new, healthy, positive, loving relationships holding on to what was.
You be like, the bag lady, you go hurt your back.
We ain't unblocking nobody. We just gonna move forward and keep it moving, because there's no need to unblock them, because now you're ready to move forward and have new, healthy, loving, positive relationships, right? And the first relationship that's going to occur with is yourself. Okay? You're going to start with you. You going to start with you. Look,
on it.
You have to start with you. And look, I did so much work into loving me that I'm out of control with the shit now. I'm just going to keep it real. I'm out of control with how much I love myself now.
Love it.
How much I clap for me, how much I celebrate me, how much I don't need I got this.
Myself, right.
I got this. Now, as I say that to you, I will also share with you, it took me quite some time to get here. It took me, I'm telling y'all, it was a roller coaster. I'd be up, I'd be like, girl, you bad. No, you ain't so bad. You didn't gain weight. Nope. You got spots on your face. Girl, but you fine. You got it going on. You smart. Then I go back down. So it was a roller coaster for a while, right?
Same here.
But once you get it, you got it. And you're not going to let nobody strip
everything. In order to get there, you have to, it's like learning how to do something new for the first time. Like, because we so used to talking bad about ourselves. We're so used to saying negative things about ourselves to hype us up is uncomfortable initially. And so it takes practice. So it's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be a roller coaster. And then you'll feel guilty for talking bad about yourself. And then you're like, okay, we get it, So it's going to be that for a minute until you're like, okay, now it feels good to say something positive about myself.
Yeah.
Right? It feels good. And so and then the thing is that, how do you know that you've gotten over the last relationship? How do you know you've gotten over the last relationship or that relationship? I knew I'd gotten over him. I knew when I saw him again, and there was no emotion.
You don't have, And
I was like, hey, he was still blocked on my phone. He's still blocked. But I was like, hey, how you doing? You good? Okay, all right. And when he tried to press the button, there was no buttons he could press. I didn't get angry. He didn't move my emotions anymore. And I knew then I was good. So I can have a conversation about him and be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I remember what it was, but I know what it is now.
That's actually, I'm glad you said that, because I think some people do kind of wonder, like, well, what's the sign that I'm, past this and I'm on the other side? And I think that is definitely one of the biggest signs is that, they can't move you anymore, right? You can be in their presence and there's nothing there. You're not affected by them whatsoever. I think for me too, like that's the number one thing for me. But one of the other things for me that helps me to know like I'm done with that person is that I don't feel, because a lot of times I have gone to the victim stage and I don't feel like I'm your victim anymore. I don't feel like you've done anything to harm me or hurt me in any way. I look at the relationship as a lesson and sometimes even a blessing, And so
that's another, when you did in that stage,
yeah,
you're in the stage of, that was a blessing. Yeah. Because this is what I learned.
And that takes that takes a lot of work because to get to that space, you understand that like it wasn't just about me. It wasn't just about me. It was, they're growing and they're learning the same way that I'm growing and I'm learning, right? And I have empathy and understanding for where they may be.
Right.
That's a big
That's a
indicator
big
for me.
man. Woo.
Like, oh, okay, like when I start to understand them and I start to empathize with them, then I know like, oh yeah, I've really moved beyond to another level because I'm not fazed by them anymore. And I actually have empathy and understanding for what happened, right?
Yes.
And I have no emotion whatsoever about it
Yes,
anymore.
that's the biggest thing, is that you're not emotionally, they cannot, that emotion does not show up no more, that anger, that whatever that is, whatever all that is. No
Yeah.
jealousy if you see them with somebody else. None of
Right.
that. None of
Right.
that.
It's what I call, the I call it the triggering train, right? So sometimes, like, you going along, riding along, and you're like, oh shit, that triggered me, right? And so I like when I write sometimes, like I can identify like what I came across and what happened that triggered me, right?
Yeah.
Because that I allow that to be a learning lesson and a learning tool for me, because sometimes we get triggered and we react to it. I get triggered and I'm like, what am I supposed to gain from
Now, right now.
now, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like when you get to that place,
That level, yes.
Like, okay, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm really good.
And even in order to get there, Keya, you have to be present with yourself.
Yeah.
You can't like be just floating along. You have to be present with, like, you have to check in with yourself mentally. Like, how am I feeling right now? We've said this before. Like, how am I feeling right now? Okay, ooh, that got me angry. Why did that get me angry? Right? Or even if you wasn't present in that moment, you blow up at somebody and you go off on them. That night, be like, okay, why did I go off on them?
Yeah.
Like, what was that about? What was the trigger? How did I feel? How did they make me feel? And right? Because you still might blow up again, because it's going to take a minute to get to, because you're relearning. You're not, it's not even relearning. You're learning new. It's like you're rewiring the brain to do something different.
Yep.
So you have to rewire your brain to do something different. For a minute, you're going to have the same reactions you used to have, right? But they're going to be getting shorter and lesser as you work on it. As you identify it, as you become more present with yourself and loving on yourself and identifying what's okay for you and what's not okay, and what you're okay with and what you're safe with, and identifying what's good for you.
And what did you say earlier when I said, oh, you jumping the gun? That's in the notes later. And that was...
Oh, I was about to say, what did I say?
So that's connected to what you just said, which is, if you decide to just be a busybody, to just ignore your feelings, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to connect with this person. I'm going to do this. I'm going to write 17 stories. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to learn this. I'm going to go over there and be here. I'm going to participate in this. I'm going to go start an organization.
Right.
Listen.
Man.
Because I did it.
All of the
I did it.
Of dealing with, man.
Hey, guilty as charged.
Running.
I tried to learn everything. I tried to be a part of everything. I attached myself to the back of everything so I could stay busy. Why? Because I didn't want to heal. I didn't want to deal with me. I was like, I'm over it.
I'm good. No, I'm move on.
I would much rather do all these other things. I ain't really trying to take up time to heal and overcome all of this stuff. I just rather be busy.
Yeah.
And the distractions will help me. But the distractions had me sinking deeper into...
distracted. And then choosing a relationship based off the pain.
Yeah.
Still based off the pain, because you're not healed. You're too busy distracted, and keep yourself distracted because you're avoiding the emotions and feeling the loss or feeling whatever that is. And so you're distracted, but that's still there.
Yeah.
That's still there. So you go on and choose a relationship, and you're still choosing relationships out of hurt and pain.
Yep. And it's showing up.
You're so drawn to you.
And it's showing up in your relationships, hurt and pain. And then you're wondering, well, what's going on? Because one of the things I did was I would get into the next relationship and I'd be like, well, this relationship still ain't right. What's going on? These people crazy out here. No, I was the crazy one. Why? Because I didn't deal with my hurt. I didn't deal with my pain. I didn't deal with my shame.
Man.
I didn't deal with my guilt. I didn't deal with the grief of a heartbreak, which led me to more painful relationships with myself and with someone else.
Yes.
Let's address Floyd's comment.
He said, I appreciate this topic. I relate to both of you in terms of knowing when you are over someone. It's a beautiful feeling to be healed.
Yes. Beautiful feeling. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. And being able to identify, right? Being able to identify that is even more beautiful because, you know, it's one thing, because I think it's become taboo a little bit to kind of throw around some of these words, but to actually experience it and live through it and know, like, no, I ain't always been here. Okay. I have not always been here. This took me a very long time to get to. And to be honest with you, there's still some things deeply rooted in me that I'm still working through. I'm way better than I was. Because what did I tell you earlier? The way I love myself now, I do not play about me. I don't. And that's non-negotiable now. I was writing blank checks and giving blank checks away because I didn't value myself. You see what I'm saying? So when you get to the space where you really know that you know who you are and what you deserve, you just don't.
And you don't have to defend yourself for nobody.
No.
When you genuinely love and when you genuinely are in that space and somebody comes to you and be like, you shouldn't be da-da-da-da-da. Thank you for sharing. Because in that space, you don't have to defend. You don't have to defend or prove nothing to nobody ever.
Yep.
And you don't, and they don't have to move you. You be like, thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate your input.
Look, the way that I just be unbothered by a lot of things and people, just unbothered. But you know that you've arrived there because, like, for me, I know who I used to be. Like, I remember that person. And, you know, I don't want her to come back up. She will, but I don't want her to come back up because
you might want to be like, peekaboo, because somebody needs to see me.
But I know what it felt like to be there. Right? And I know what it feels like to be here.
Now, here's the thing, though, Keya. Like, so, because it still does, it doesn't mean you're a doormat. It means that sometimes you might you might not go back to that space, right? But you might be like, this is not okay. And they need to hear that firm voice, like, I said no.
Yeah.
And this is not okay. You're not going to keep on treating me like this. So I'm going to let you go. Sometimes sometimes they do need to hear that, and you need to have that tone, which you do. It doesn't necessarily mean you go back to that right there, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. It don't mean that you go back to that, but it means that I'm in another space, but I'm still setting my boundaries. And you still gonna know I'm setting my boundaries.
Yeah.
That's healed.
Yeah.
Because Tupac, because you went off. I said boundary.
Tupac Keya will still come up and yeah, you're right, cuz you're right. you is right.
Sometimes they need to hear.
I am kind. Yes. I am beautiful.
You are. And when you time to set them boundaries, you set them boundaries.
Yeah.
That's healed, boy. And you can set them boundaries, because I still struggle. I still be like, well, I don't want them.
Look, and then I got my boundaries so much that I be trying to force other people to, if you don't get your boundaries together, get your shit.
Don't even listen. Don't you tell me nothing about that motherfucker no more, because I don't like how he treating you. Okay, no.
I be trying to pass my boundaries on because I got them strong. I be like, here, I got boundaries for you. I got boundaries for you. I'm giving boundaries away.
You don't get a boundary. You get a boundary.
I'm giving the boundaries away.
Right.
Look, you better have your boundaries in place, because people will play with you if you let them.
Man.
So look where we are. Look where we are. So we're gonna close out with questions, with comments, thoughts about this particular topic. Hey sis, I see you over on IG. We're going to close it out with comments, questions even, and thoughts about this particular topic. Dr. Rose said those boundaries are a game changer. They really are. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I remember back in the day when I didn't have them, I would be getting pissed and upset. And I'm like, what the hell are you getting upset for? Just say no, heifer. Say
Girl,
no.
You had the same conversation I had with myself.
Oh my God. I was so mad at myself.
My son had to tell me, Mom, you know you can say no. I was like, what? Oh.
What? What are we doing?
And be mad.
Be mad.
I used to be so mad. And it had nothing to do with them. It was me because I didn't say no.
Yep.
Mad the whole time because I didn't say yes because I'm like, I just want to be mad. Then I'd be mad at them, but it really don't even be them, it'd be me.
Yeah.
Me the whole time. I should have said no.
So the boundaries are a game changer, as Dr. Rose said. Anybody else have any thoughts or comments or questions about this topic? As we wait for comments and questions, I also want to say before you guys comment, I want to say that I think it's important that you begin to focus, right? Get focused about what's important to you. If you're watching this either live or as a replay, then you probably around our age, right? Probably, maybe. So if you're around our age,
like
you
30,
know,
like you around 30, like our age, 30.
Probably. Well, you know, we was 30 at one time. But if you like at the 50 mark, let me say something to you. We got less time in front of us than behind us. If you don't start to make yourself a priority, and this ain't even just about no romantic relationship. Dear hearts, sweethearts, understand. Because we start on the singular. We start on you here.
Yes, right here.
And Date Affirm the Real, we talk about focusing and loving yourself first.
Yes.
Right? So this is the time. If you haven't been, it's okay if you haven't been concentrating on yourself. It's okay that you haven't, found the time to journal, go within, do the healing work, because you got right now to start.
Yes.
Please devote that time to yourself.
Yes.
All right, babe, you can put that comment back up for me, please.
It's she said, that was Dr. Rowe. She said, or yes, there are things that we should be doing and say no to. And say no. It works both ways. Just be in alignment. Yes. Or yes, there are things that we should be doing and say no. It works both ways. Just be in alignment. Because sometimes you need to say yes to something.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say too, I was going to say one thing, because sometimes we're on autopilot and we don't pay attention to our thoughts and what we're saying to ourselves. And I know that, I know the things that I've done before is I'll set an alarm for 10 minutes. I'll set an alarm for 10 minutes and be like, and when you set your alarm on your phone, my phone right there, it's got Instagram. When you set your alarm and you can put a note right there, like I'll be like, what are you thinking? Because sometimes I'll be like, dang, what? Because sometimes you ever be sitting there watching TV and you be like, what was I watching? Because you in your thoughts. Like how much are we in our thoughts so much? And then what thoughts are we saying to ourselves? We don't even pay attention to what we're saying to ourselves. So I set an alarm like 10 minutes and that alarm, and I think I told clients 5 minutes because the alarm starts getting annoying. And so you'll be like, what was I thinking? Wow, I was really talking bad about myself. Wow, I was really telling myself, right? Especially, and then, or I'm focused on this fool. I'm still thinking about him. I'm still thinking about, I'm lost in this thought of him, right? And so be aware, be present, and hear what you're saying to yourself.
Yeah, I like that. Be present, be aware, set the alarm so that you can check in with yourself. I love that. I think I just need to do that just because of my busy days, just to kind of stop and take breaks. So yeah, I love that idea. I want you guys to know, again, I started here and we're going to end here. We appreciate you. We value you. We thank you for your support. We thank you for showing up over and over again for us every other Tuesday with Keya McClain, the poet, and Shimeka, the DAR Therapist. And then every other Wednesday with Marcus and Junior Lily. Thank you all for continuing to support us, continuing to show up. We ask that you do share out the live with your friends and your family. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. We also have TikTok, and we really need to get our TikTok up. So if you can just take a few moments, only if you're on TikTok. We don't want people to have to go out and create TikToks, but if you're on TikTok, just go out and follow us on Data Firm The Real. And Rising Phoenix made a comment. If you can address that, cousin.
She said, yes, that inner voice can be a beast. Man, it definitely can. So you can. And
that inner voice, something else.
And we have to again, we're rewiring. We're rewiring. So it's going to take a minute to rewire.
Yeah. So we hope that this conversation was helpful. And as always, eat the fish, throw the bones away. What was helpful, what was nurturing, what was beneficial, just take it in, squeeze it tight.
Yes.
And whatever wasn't for you, release it. Let it go. Put it out into the universe. Someone else may need it. Someone else may be inspired by it. And they'll take a hold and grab it.
Yes.
Until next time, we're going to close out. As always, Shimeka.
Thank you guys again. Thank you guys again. Let's do a deep breath. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you guys again for showing up. Remember, you have this moment. You might not have tomorrow. And that moment back then is past already. So you have right now. What you choose for right now. And all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. How does it get any better than that?
Yes. Namaste.
Ashe.
Until next time. Peace.
To those guys.